As you can see, I have everything perfectly organized in here. Let's get this out. Hey guys, in this video we'll be tackling the front end conversion on our 4-door Skyline. For the many miles ahead I purchased a couple of things we might need down the road. For example, this jack, that'll be traveling with us anywhere we go, just in case. To make the front end conversion happen seamlessly, I decided to do the same thing I did with my R34 in Germany. I bought the entire underworkings of a GTR front end. These are all genuine Nissan parts, and I will list all the part numbers for such a conversion in the description box. Sadly, a few bits have gotten a bit more pricey, but overall most parts can be had for reasonable money. I also got a Z-Tune front kit consisting of fenders, front bumper, as well as the bonnet. And at Uras I already got the roofing and I got the side skirts as well. I still need a couple of Uras parts, being the rear bumper as well as the trunk clip. And from Ukubo I have this front clip for the bumper. I got myself a Z-Tune front replica cheaply, because that's all that was to be had on short notice simply. The genuine pieces would have had to be ordered up to a year in advance from the vendor I ordered the other Nissan parts from. That said, a genuine carbon Z-Tune bonnet from Nismo would have cost me more than the entire car. I'm not about that. Ja, hab ich. Disassembling R34s is in my blood by now. I've completely changed the front on my 2-door 4 times and countless times taken parts on and off again for fitting and adjusting purposes. So this was sort of a walk in the park, apart from the high humidity and the 30 degrees. The upright is the first piece to go on again, and the one part that needs some customization. Contrary to some information on the internet, you do not need to change the hood catch. You simply bolt the old one into the new GTR upright. So this is the only bit that is different on GTR from GTT. The GTT has the hole a bit further up here, so all we need to do is add a plate to connect the hole from the GTT with the hole from the GTR upright here.
I simply added a plate with 2 holes that are roughly 30mm apart and bolted it in. Easy enough. It is all really self-explanatory. Next I bolted in the GTR Rio bar, upon which the rest of the parts are bolted onto. Those are the 2 headlight brackets, the upper front bumper support bar and the 2 lower front bumper support bars. I popped on the fenders, bolted the Ukubo lip to the front bumper and transferred the license plate to start suffering with fitting everything together.
Schon mal gut.
The last piece of the puzzle was the bonnet. Luckily Fritz helped me with the standard bonnet because I've never touched a heavier bonnet in my life. That piece alone should be worth $100 in scrap steel. For some reason Nissan also decided to use different bonnet hinges on the GTR, which have slightly offset bolt hole locations. You'll need these as well for a conversion. You can get them for not too much money every now and then online. I got these off Yahoo auctions fairly cheap.
Ich könnte kotzen.
We bolted on the bonnet, and with a bit of finagling, we got it to even close. Job well done. I even bought a set of smoked front and side indicators from Nismo because they happen to be dirt cheap. I'll leave the part number as well for these, they're awesome. Overall, solid job for one afternoon's worth of work in tropical conditions.
It's the next day, and as you can see the Z-tune front is on and looks decent enough. All we need to do now is adding the Urus side skirts. We'll be doing this the quick way.
So the boys won't have all my clutter knocking about. Fritz and I chucked the old front end into his van and we brought everything to Up Garage. I got 5,000 yen for all the parts, which is just shy of 35 USD. Oh well. Back at our refuge for the week, I took a long hard look at the R34. Obviously this car will need a paint job, which I might try to get still in Japan. But all in all, I love the looks and what this can become. I didn't think I'd get it done this quick. With the front end fitted, we went out with the boys for a ride along the coast. Paul in his Panamera and Fritz in his Crown. These are the kind of drives that make the car life worth it. Being around friends and people that understand you and your passion is good for your health. I mean it. I'm really happy with how everything came together. This kit is not perfect, but with a bit of elbow grease I can make this work perfectly sooner or later. Plus, there's so many more changes to come for this car during our journey. Over the next couple of days we were changing our lodging locations, and with the first stage of the Skyline prep complete, we went on a couple of day trips along the coast. We also drove into Fukuoka and went to check out the famous Canal City and to walk around the area and eat all sorts of tasty stuff we could find. It was time to depart Kyushu. We packed all our things again and headed out towards Hiroshima. The moment we hit the expressway though, we stopped at the first PA to check the things they had on offer. And this PA was no joke. It had a full-blown food court, including a supermarket and street food style outlets outside. As I said before, we'll try to hit every up garage we pass. The one in Kitakyushu was no exception. This up garage was amazing. They had tons of GTR stuff hanging around, with quite a few pieces from Active Garage, who happen to be not too far away from here, which I will make sure to visit on our way back. Remember the 5,000 yen from the front end? I spent them on 2 genuine epoxy filters. I don't know where they will be installed yet, but I know the Porsche still needs an open air filter. We moved on, and by the time we got to past the bridge leaving Kyushu, we had just passed the 2,000 kilometers driven mark. I might have to do in fact more oil changes than I thought on the way across Japan. The next stop was up garage number 2, which was in Yamaguchi, again equipped with a couple really cool bits. I really regret not having taken the Universal Urus rear diffuser, but I fear it would have been more hassle than it being worth it. The hub basket was funny though. All of these hubs were like 80 cents. This time I only snuck away with a couple of adjustable tie rod ends for the R34 for like 13 USD. Another steal in my book. A quick stop for a bowl of maze soba and a short drive to the next town over had up Garage number 3 waiting for us in Hofu. This one wasn't as big as the other ones and didn't have as many unique parts, but most notably there was a seat that I'm not sure will ever sell. Impressive. We finally arrived in Hiroshima and it was time to park our car at the hotel. They had a nice elevated car park, but it turns out most of these require 90mm ground clearance, and it turns out I have about 70. That meant putting the car into a parking lot across the road. That said, even though this car is not as low as you're used to seeing from other cars in Japan, my front lip has already been suffering. Up until here at least, the roads are not as flat as the stories tell. We had a super cool hotel in Hiroshima, and we simply did what we do best. Drop our things, go for a night walk and some dinner, and get ready for the next days ahead. But because this video is already long enough as it is, we'll leave the coming days for the next one. Along with the dream of a detour, we decided to go for last minute. Stay tuned for that.